Welcome to the Shikama Live Show. As you know, I'm a Pan-Africanist. That means I'm for the uplifting of black people worldwide to be on equal footing, not better, not worse, as everybody else on the planet. That means we own our own resources, we use our own resources, and we trade with other people on equal footing. That's all humanity actually means. Any culture that believes that they are dominant believes that they should own the resources of other people. Hence the entire notion of white supremacy. That's all white supremacy actually means, is that they, by right of birth, should own your resources. Now, as a Pan-Africanist, I get into the minutia, since I'm a single person, I get into the minutia of what it actually means to be a Pan-Africanist. I'm very alarmed at a trend, at those who want to be quote-unquote pro-black. You can't get more pro-black than me, but I'm not a drama queen. I don't go for all of that Imhotep, comedian, whatever you want to get into. And here's the point of the video. Stop calling black women queens. Queen means that she rules over all that she sees. And here's the real problem. You're pandering to black women. You're not uplifting black women. I uplift black women. I don't pander to them. Pander means that you treat them like children by saying stuff that you know they will like. It's what the Democrats do to the black people. The Republicans are racist, so we're not racist, so we're going to make sure that we expand welfare. What the hell does welfare have to do with being black? It has to be the most racist statement in this century. Black people, welfare is not a black thing, okay? First of all, so get that out of your head. You look stupid by supporting a party that insults you to your face, and you just clap for it. Oh, those Democrats are for black people. Wait, what? Black people aren't on welfare like that. White people are, but not black people. It's the same pandering that you do to black women. You think that because white people denigrate black women, that you have to go overboard and pander to black women. You're being just as horrible to black women as Democrats are being to black people. So what's the solution? How about calling black women wives? Huh? There's a notion, huh? There's an idea. I'm gonna call my black woman my wife. Oh, but there's a problem with that. You have to get married to her. Oh, and I see nothing but a whole bunch of horrible insults about black women. And you always get white people pretending to be black men come online and say, oh, black women, you can't marry a black woman. You look behind the keyboard, that's a white guy. That's not even a black guy. First of all, you won't fall for this crap. Oh yeah, I've met many people. You've met many people where? Online, and they said they won't marry a black woman. Are you sure that's a black man? Oh, that's not a black man. So no, you have not met many people. I've done studies, I've done research, I've done interviews. I meet thousands of people. I wouldn't call my interviews scientifically accurate, but I bet they're probably far more scientifically accurate than the people who come online and say, oh, I've talked to many black men who said they won't date black women. You're a liar, and the people that you talk to are liars. I've interviewed face to face black men who say, I will date nothing but a black woman. I like natural hair on a black woman. I want to run my fingers through a black woman's hair. Thousands of interviews. I was writing a book when I first came to Vegas, and I did hundreds and hundreds of interviews. And in the interviews, I asked all sorts of questions. Now, my book was going to be about sexuality, but then when I found that there's tons of books just about sexuality, I gave up the thing. But I still have all the notes for the interviews, and I'm sure homosexuals will be very, very mad at what the interviewees said. They said that homosexuality was a choice. Nearly across the board. In fact, I didn't meet a homosexual who didn't say. Now, I was interviewing black homosexuals. I wasn't interviewing white homosexuals. The white people that I interviewed were all straight. It was a book about sexuality, not homosexuality. Now, the straight people, and the straight people are far more sexually deviant than any homosexual, probably. So homosexuals think they have sexuality and all that sort of stuff sewn up, and I'm here to tell you, no, you don't. You don't even come close. Straight people have invented all ways to have sex that homosexuals wouldn't even dream of. You don't have the market cornered on anything about sexuality. Okay, that's why I'm not all into amazed by homosexuality. You have nothing. I could show you my notes from the interviews with straight people who told me they did this, that, and the other. Literally, at one interview, I ran out of the room. Ran out. They weren't doing anything. They were showing me videos of what they did. Black people, don't go overboard and don't think that you know what it is to be black by you hanging out with Leon, who dropped out of school. First of all, right? Let's get right down to it. You're hanging out with some ignorant people, some uneducated people, some people who have no idea what money is. Most black people are friggin' middle class and upper class. Most black people, just as every other group. A large percentage of Mexicans are middle class and upper class. A large percentage of Cubans in the United States are middle class and upper class. White people, large percentage, middle and upper class. Pennsylvania Dutch, Russian, Filipino, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, middle class, and upper class. That's just the way humans are, especially if you have marriage as an institution in the culture. That's because I need to bring black men to the reality that what they think black is not black. It's white people who don't have your best interests at heart telling you what black is. I'm telling you what black is. I've been to the mountaintop, baby. I've looked over the land. I've gone in and through the earth. Just like Satan. Yes. And the stuff that you think you know about being black is a goddamn lie. Stop calling black women queens. How about calling them wives? How about calling them ladies? And black women, how about being wives? How about being ladies? I had a guy post on his Facebook, and here was the quote. I don't marry women these days because their mothers didn't teach them how to be wives. And so then I did a little bit of asking. I said, hey, women, I called just my women on Facebook. And I said, is this true? Now, these are older women. And they said, well, I don't know about other women. I've taught my daughters to be wives because it doesn't make any sense for a girl to be up in the house and you teach her what? How to be a boy? What is that going to get her? Loneliness. I've met, and they said, yes, women today are selfish. It's about the me generation. And then one person said, well, they need to teach men how to be husbands. The husband role only required, and this is a big requirement, mind you, that you go out, get the bread, and bring the bread home. And here's what feminists won't tell you. The men brought the bread home, and it was the woman that distributed the bread for the house note, the car note, the insurance, the education, the medical. For the most part, in all households with a housewife, the housewife's role, chief role, was to be a homemaker. That means she was in charge of the home. Literally, the man brought money home, and it was her duty to balance the books and such. Now, it was the custom that men dealt with certain monetary issues that they wouldn't let their wives touch. Now, a lot of that was the will, stuff that would happen, the insurance, stuff like that. And women found themselves in pretty bad predicaments because the husband had assumed that he would be alive the entire time and that in the future he would call her in and They would discuss the will and all that sort of stuff, and life would be great, right? But you had men being men, working men jobs, who die suddenly. And the woman finds herself in the predicament of not knowing any of the insurance stuff, any of the will stuff, none of that stuff. But she was in charge of everything that went on in home. Her role wasn't one of some sort of weird servant. She had a huge responsibility. A good wife could make a couple who didn't make that much money into a very wealthy couple because she collected coupons. She budgeted. She did all of that stuff to keep the household conservative. I'm very upset at feminism trying to tell women that their role was some sort of weird servant. It was always a partnership, always, from day one. Even back into the time where we were in Africa in the desert and we married the woman, it was the woman's role to take care of it was always a partnership. She was in charge. If you go to Africa today, the woman is still in charge of the household. And don't let there be grandmother in the household, because grandmother will run everything in the household. I'm very upset at feminism trying to adopt black women into their movement. Black women have not been oppressed by black men, and black women have been the key to the black community being very viable. You cannot have a black man be by himself and still retain a community. Work will get done, yes, but you need a black woman behind the scenes, behind the curtain. I actually like the role of being behind the curtain myself. I'm the king maker, and that is the role of the black woman, to be the king maker. That whole behind every successful man there's a woman, it comes from just observation. There's nothing wrong with the word wife. Wife actually, I believe, has the original definition in Gaelic or Irish or whatever word it comes from. That's actually meaning sort of queen to begin with. So you're trying to elevate somebody to a status that they're not, when in fact you can just call them wife, and that's the status that they should have. Wife, lady. Lady actually means right under the queen, right? Lords and ladies doesn't mean that the woman is less than the lord. It means that she's equal to a lord. But you don't understand English, first of all, to even know about that whole thing, right? Don't call them queen, call them wife, lady. It's very respectful. And black women, please be wives, ladies. And I tell you, if you think that shaking your booty, dressing like a whore, dressing like a prostitute is going to get you husband material, you're insane. Stop watching MTV. Stop watching these movies with these white women who are dressing like whores, but their knight in shining armor shows up. You're wiser than this, black women. You know for a fact, if you dress like a whore, you're gonna get what? A trick. You're not gonna get a husband. No guy's gonna show up in a limo and says, I want to take you away from all of it. No. They're gonna show up and say, how much for some head? No kissing. I don't do that with whores. So many comedians have talked about it. You're dressing like whores, and then when men react to you as if you're a whore, you get all offended. That's the energy you're putting out. That's the visual that you're putting out. Wife, lady. Black men call them wives, call them ladies. Black women, be wives and ladies. Forget all of this white stuff and their agenda and their feminists and they want equality and blah, blah, blah. They don't pay black people, period, men or women, anywhere near that they pay white people. Even in Hollywood. Huh? Even in Hollywood. Even these people that you think are making these millions of dollars are getting paid $10,000. Huh? You better look into this, black people. You need to wake up. I understand, black men, what you're trying to do, but you're going overboard and it's creating a disservice, because then you're calling people queen who are nowhere near a queen. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the real problem. It's okay if you call an upper middle class woman a queen, it's not going to go to her head. And more than likely, she's going to shrug it off. And she's going to say, that's cute. I'm not a queen. Don't call me a queen. My name is Mrs. Johnson from 5 generations here in Charlottesville. But you all are calling fat, greasy, ratchet, ghetto scum queens. What the hell are you doing? We need to uplift black women. You don't need to uplift the scum of the earth. Meanwhile, the actual women who are working a job, trying to do better, trying to rise above, is being pounded daily just like a black man at work. Insulted, what have you. And those women you're not even running after. Why? Because you want to get your dick wet. Let's be honest. You're calling people queen for the wrong reasons altogether. Oh yeah, I'm not just a pretty face. I'm not just a nerd. I've been around the block. I've peeked around the I've peeked around the block. I haven't been around the block, but I peeked around the block. I know the terminology. You want to get your dick wet, so you're calling some fat, skeezy whore a queen. Meanwhile, the women that you should be calling a queen, and I say you should be calling wife or lady, and I didn't say wifey, I said wife. Simple, respectful term, wife or lady, you're ignoring her. Why? It's the same reason that the skis or whores are ignoring the quote-unquote good black man and then screaming, where are the good black men? Oh, well, you treat, oh, that's Poindexter. Oh, that nigga square. Well, you're nothing. It's the same with the black men. You're putting all these pearls and jewels before this fat, ratchet whore and calling her a queen. What the hell's your problem? For what? To get your dick wet? Treat her like a whore. She's acting like a whore. She's dressed like a whore. She smells like a whore. And you want to treat her like a whore? Then go ahead and just be honest about it. Hey, whore, come over here and suck my dick. That's all there is to it. She's not a queen. She's not your... You like her because she's freaky and easy. It's the same reason that black men date and marry white women, because they're easy and freaky. You know that a respectable young black woman is not going to lick your butt. Literally, I'm not talking about figuratively. Meanwhile, you won't call the good girl, the good black woman, the good black lady, a queen. You won't call her a queen because you don't want her attention. You want the easy girl's attention. No, I'm not going to say that you're weak-minded or anything, Negro or anything. I don't even like that sort of talk. I'm saying I know what you're up to, and you're up to no good. You need to be honest with yourself, and you need to be honest with black women. If they're a whore, just call them a whore. That's what I do. I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. You're beneath me. Please stop. Just stop talking. Yes, that's what I do. Nobody knows how to handle that. I mean, they don't know how to handle that. You think I'm blunt on YouTube? I'm blunt in real life. When it comes to that, no. Thank you, no, thank you. You're so I don't need your compliment. Please go. Oh yes, I do. I don't care. If she's a real woman, she can handle it, right? Y'all men can't handle, okay, I can handle you. Get away from me. How about that? Oh my God. Oh, you hurt my feelings. No, you don't have feelings. You're a real woman. You're not a dainty lass. If you were a dainty lass, this conversation wouldn't be going the way it is. No, I'm no respecter of gender. I'm no respecter of people beneath my class. Not in face-to-face reality. Understand where I'm coming from. And I know what you're doing. And black women don't fall for the queen thing. Say, don't call me a queen, call me a lady or a wife. We need to bring back some good English, for God's sakes. Lady was the highest compliment that you really could give a strange woman. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me, lady. Would you ladies like to talk? Huh? I know. So hard. Thank you for watching the Chicago Live Show.